Hi everyone! If you've ever had an idea for an app, a website, or even a startup, you probably know that the hardest part isn't the idea itself, but the complexity that starts at the implementation stage. You either have to learn to code, hire expensive developers, spend weeks designing interfaces, or somehow turn screenshots and thoughts into a real product. For most people, this is exactly where projects go to die. The idea feels inspiring for a couple of days, and then reality kicks in. But what if creating software became as simple as describing what you want? That's why a tool called Lovable is getting so much attention right now. At first glance, it all looks almost too simple. You describe the idea in plain language. For example, make a landing page for an AI fitness startup or create a site for booking car rentals. And in a few minutes, the platform starts generating something that actually looks like a finished product. Not raw mockups or template drafts, but working interfaces that look surprisingly high quality. And honestly, that's the strangest part of using it, because for years creating digital products was strictly tied to technical skills. You either know how to code or you don't. But tools like Lovable are starting to completely blur that line, turning plain text into real products much faster than the traditional development process. What's especially interesting is that it's not just a set of random screens. The system understands interface structure, page logic, user scenarios, and the overall product architecture. It's as if a designer and developer are working together behind the scenes, and this changes the very audience of who can create products. One person can now prototype ideas in hours instead of weeks. Small businesses can test concepts without expensive agencies, and even startup founders can validate hypotheses before spending thousands of dollars on development. Instead of staring at a blank screen and not knowing where to start, you immediately get something functional that you can improve, edit, and develop. And essentially, this is one of the most notable shifts in AI right now, because AI is stopping being just a tool for answers or text generation. It's starting to create real things, real products, apps, websites, services, workflows, everything that used to require teams, a budget, and technical expertise. Of course, this doesn't mean that developers become completely unnecessary. Complex systems still require engineering work, but for early ideas, prototypes, MVPs, landing pages, and experiments, the difference in speed becomes too great to ignore. And that's exactly why tools like Lovable are growing so fast right now. They remove the barrier between idea and implementation. You're no longer just imagining a product, you're creating it. If you've ever thought about launching an online business, testing startups, or creating something of your own, but the technical part held you back, this is one of the most interesting tools to look at right now, because the future will likely belong to those who can act fast, test ideas quickly, and build them without long waits. And tools like Lovable make it many times easier.